What's up, everybody? KG here, founder of the Internet Money Crypto Wallet, coming at you today with a live walkthrough of our brand new stats page. Now, if you're a stats nerd and junkie, this video is definitely for you. If you're not, well, hopefully we can convert you into one, because statistics are the truth of reality. Numbers are the language of nature. And here we are today to look at real numbers, real statistics revolving around blockchain, cryptocurrency, the Internet Money Wallet on 7 different blockchains: Pulse Chain, Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Arbitrum, Avalanche, and Base. And if that interests you, stick around. We're going to jump into it.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it. Can't let them take this from me.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining today. I see Fast Abdul's here for the tech. Good to see you. Now, I will end up making a edited, short, clean tutorial eventually for all this, but we just launched the stats page today. So it's a big day for us. We got a lot of cool stats to cover, and I didn't want to spend the time just yet, rather waste the time of the good news. I wanted to just get this content out there, and live streaming is the best way to do that. Also, it gives me an opportunity to engage with the community. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them. I see we got 40 people viewing already. Welcome into the stream. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here, and we're going to jump into this new stats page. All right. So what you're going to see here too is potentially a new direction that we're going to take the website in, the brand in. We're still going to keep the same core concepts of internet money, of course, but we want to refine and smooth things out. One of the biggest points of user feedback we get is we want to see some new visuals, some maybe cleaner visuals, as people like to describe it. Whatever your subjective opinions are, we're going to have it all for you, because right now people love the way the wallet looks, the way the website looks. People say it's their favorite website, favorite wallet. On the other hand, you have people that say they want to see something new. So we're working on both realities, where users will be able to select their options about how they want to view the website, how they want to view the wallet. If you don't know anything about internet money, the one thing I hope you take away from this stream is that we're a wallet and an ecosystem by the people, for the people. So let's dive right into the stats page. You can head to internetmoney.io/stats. Put that here. Banner, or right there. internetmoney.io/stats will navigate you to this stats page. So the first stat that we display live on the screen here is wallet downloads. Now, these downloads go back to the inception of Internet Money, a little over 2 years ago, or a little around 2 years. And the way we display it is we display it in terms of total downloads and then the change from the last time they were updated. So you can look right here from March 27th through 28th are where these plus numbers are coming from. So this update is only from the last 2 days. So if you take 272 and divide that by 2, we've averaged 136 downloads a day for the last 2 days. Let me just verify my math here. Cool. Yep, 136. So over the course of the last 2 days, we've averaged 136 downloads a day. Now, our general average of downloads per day, because sometimes you'll see this here be 2 weeks, 30 days. Getting the stats from the App Store is a little different than getting statistics off the blockchain, which we'll dive into here in a moment. So this window of time where we update this, it changes, it varies. But our average downloads per day right now averages at 60 to 90 downloads a day. So at 136 downloads in the last 2 days, we're actually up little over 100% to about 50%. So this would be a really good last 2 days for the wallet. We also have the downloads broken down by platform. So we're available on iOS, Android, and Chrome. And you can see the total downloads by device or by platform, and then their change as well. So all these numbers here add up to this, and this adds up to this. So that's wallet downloads. What's up, Corey and Investor? Good to see you. Crypto JK Quattro Cinco. Good to see you. And we just recently breached 70,500 downloads. Our goal this year is to break 100,000 downloads, and I believe we're on par and on course to do that. So if you haven't onboarded anybody, go out, do some onboarding. If you're new to the wallet, give us a try. We're an excellent product, always growing, always expanding, have awesome features. And to everybody who's been a part of the community and does onboard, thank you. We would not be here without you. So now let's go down to some on-chain stats. What you're going to see, and if you're on mobile, it's going to be a little more of a list view. So this is the desktop view. I like the desktop view a lot more because you see so much more in one view. But if you're on mobile, it's more of a list, but you still get all the same stats. So when you come down here by default, it is on the combined view. And by this, it means all 7 networks here are combined into one number. If you want to break it down by blockchain, you can click on the logo and it will expand the stats specifically for that blockchain. So today we'll look at Pulse Chain. And I actually really like this. I like how it dials up. I think it's pretty cool. So we'll just dive in stat by stat so that you know what you're looking at when you're here. All right. So the default time frame you'll see is 90 days. But if you click right here, you can sort from 1 hour to total. So total would obviously be since we started collecting data here, and 1 hour would be the last hour. So that's the time frame you can look at. So on Pulse Chain, we've done just over $58 million in swap volume. The last 24 hours, we've done just under 90,000. Last week, we've done $1 million. So that's that. Now, a couple of things you're going to look at within this box is the total swap volume for the time window that you selected. You'll see this percent change here, which is from this 7 days to the last 7 days, right? So I'm on 7 days. So if I have 90 days selected, this is going to be this 90 days in comparison to the last 90 days. So on the 7 day, we're down 29% in Pulse Chain swap volume. But on the 90 day, we're up 22% on Pulse Chain swap volume. So what's cool about all these stats too is even though they're specific to the Internet Money Wallet, you can use them to get a sense of what's going on globally in crypto on that given chain, right? Because we're a microcosm of each one of these macrocosms, but our trends follow the macrocosms. So even if you're not an Internet Money user, you can use these statistics to see what's going on out there. All right. So you have that percentage. Now this percentage here, or this number here, is how many actual swaps went in to creating this total. So in the last 90 days, there was just over 54,000 swaps that accounted for $17 million, right? And just like this percentage, you can see the percentage increase of how many actual swaps were performed. So you can get a sense, hey, was this one user that swapped $17 million. Or sorry, it was this one swap that was for that amount. So you can start to gauge those numbers as well. And then right below that, you have the actual amount of addresses that went into those swaps. So the way this would actually read is in the last 90 days, 2,963 addresses performed 54,534 swaps for a total of $17 million. Okay. Now, this data this shows when we started collecting this information. So if I go to total, for example, you'll see that the data is from 11/11/2023, and it was last generated, which means the last time it got updated, 3/29/25 at this time. So you'll be able to see when that start window for these windows are and when the data was actually updated to pull the information from that start window. So that's swap volume. Let's move over to dividends, and shout out to my lovely lady here. If you don't know AG, this is my wife. Thanks for watching. Good to see you. All right. So going into dividends, for those that don't know about the dividends in the internet money ecosystem, the way this works is we charge a small fee when users swap within the wallet on Android, iOS, and Chrome. Depending on what blockchain you're on, you pay that fee in the form of the native coin. So here on Pulse Chain, you pay that fee in the form of PLS. Now, 100% of that fee that is generated is distributed to time holders. Okay. So if you're a time holder, you're earning dividends and you're growing with the product, with the wallet. So a lot of the stats are exactly the same, right? So now that we've established what all these percentages stand for, when the data was generated, we can just talk about the stats themselves. So you'll see dividends by US dollar value and what they actually look like in the form of the native coin. So in the last 90 days, $142,000 was paid out to time holders on Pulse Chain, and that was a total of 3.2 billion PLS. In total, there's been about $500,000 for about 7.7 billion PLS. Now, this is not, these numbers here as well, the US dollar values, they're not current market value. It takes the price of the assets at the time they were distributed. So a total of about $500,000 has been paid out to time holders at this moment in time. Same thing, you can see the percentage changes. And for dividends, it's actually, looking at it on the 1 hour and the 4 hours kind of weird. It's actually really good to look at dividends on the daily if you want to know what daily APY looks like, or on the weekly, monthly. So you can actually see we're not having a great month, but we're having a great 90 days. So that's why all these time intervals are so important. Next, we'll jump into, let me give a big shout out to the man, Gertz himself. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. So we have daily payout per million time. Now, this statistic kind of explains itself. This is if you are holding 1 million time, how much would you have earned that day? So if you're holding 10 million, you would multiply it by 10. If you're holding 500,000, you would divide it by 2. Now, all these calculations I'm talking about, we want to eventually bring these into the stats page and do all these calculations for you. But right now, we got the initial data out there. So that's all this stat is here, is what would your daily payout be if you held 1 million time for that day? So when you see on the 90 day, it's an average of 80 cents per day, per million time. 80 cents per day, per million time on average for the last 90 days. So today, you would have earned 30 cents per million time On the 180 day, 68. On the total, 35. So you can look at this to play around with the different averages and that sort of thing. Now we're going to get into, we'll go here. This one's a bit easier. So the unclaimed dividends, this is current market value. See, this stat here is actually current market value of the dividends that are currently available to be claimed by time holders. So right now, today, at this very moment on Pulse Chain, there is just under 4 billion Pulse available to claim, and that amounts to about $80,000. So if you're a time holder on Pulse Chain, you have money there waiting for you right now. Now, that's all that is. This one updates just last time it was updated was 10 minutes ago. So this one updates constantly, and this price you'll see fluctuate with market value. All right, now we're going to get to the really fun one here, the leaderboards. We're working up to the most fun, but we got 2 more left. So if you're still here, please hit that like button. Please hit subscribe. If you're on X, please follow us. Please retweet the space. We appreciate your support and can't grow without you. So really appreciate it. All right, let's talk about some projected annual yield. So if you're not asleep yet, so you're about to wake up, I get excited about projected annual yield. Who would have thought that when we were all back in school, we were going to be up, whatever, if it's the morning, the afternoon, the night time for you, getting excited about projected annual yield. I don't know about you guys, but that's not what I was thinking about. So let's talk about it. This number here is if the current time interval remains true, this will be the APY. Now it's this time interval is fluctuating, and therefore that's why it's projected annual yield, right? Because, for example, we have the last 90 days selected, but we can't tell you, nobody can tell you what the next 90 days looks like. So taking this 90 days of data, we're projecting out what the full year will look like based on this 90 days, hence projected annual yield. So right now, should the trend of this last 90 days continue, the projected annual yield for time holders would be just under 10%, as high as 23%. Okay, so let's break this down a little further. The way that we calculate this percentage is we take the price of time, what it would have cost to buy time, and then we take the dividends that you would have earned from holding that time, and that's how we get the yield. So what's even more bullish about this statistic here is the yield return doesn't factor in the price of time, which on Pulse Chain just hit an all-time high 2 days ago. So if you were a time holder, you would have actually technically earned more than 9 to 23% if you would have sold some of your position, because you would have also made the yield from selling some of your principal. So this projected annual yield is only the price you would have paid for time, not you personally, but in the reference to this 90-day window, and the dividends you would have earned from holding. I hope that makes sense. So the price you paid for time and the dividends you earned from holding that time, that's it. This does not factor in the price appreciation of time at all, which is incredibly bullish. We want to include that stat as well. So now you have the 2 categories. How do we get from 9.4 to 22.9%? Well, this, if you bought at the start, is if you bought at the beginning of the 90-day window, and this is if you bought at the end of the 90-day window. So if the price of time is high, you can assume that the yield is going to go down. The percentage would go down because it cost you more to acquire the time, and therefore the dividends you're earning have to make a larger impact in relation to that price. Now, if the price of time goes down, you can expect that percentage to be higher because you're acquiring a bigger bag for a smaller price, therefore earning more yield. It's a lot, but I hope that makes sense. That's a tricky stat there. So if you need to rewind that, watch it over again. If you need to ask any questions, I'm here right now. Ask your questions because I'm sure others have the same. Here's actually a question real quick. If I hold time for a year but don't claim the dividends before sending the time tokens to a different wallet, are the dividends transferred to the new wallet or they are lost? Neither of those things that you said are what happens. So when you earn your time dividends, the address that's holding the time at the moment the dividends were distributed is the address that can claim that time. So if you sold your time or you sent your time to a new address before claiming, you can still claim your dividends from the address that was holding them. So your time is not lost, or your dividends are not lost. That's a great question, actually. We get that one often. AG says, howdy, Internet Money fam. What a great turnout to view these stats. Agreed. The Pulse Chain community appreciates KG and his commitment to the community and such a great product. Thank you. Not going anywhere. You will not see an announcement from Internet Money Wallet that says we no longer support Pulse Chain. As a matter of fact, you're going to see announcements that say, hey, we just added more Pulse Chain support. Stick around. Okay. Now, let's understanding the projected annual yield. Let's dive into interval yield, which is not a projected. This is a historic, saying that you actually earned this amount of yield during this interval. Okay. Projected is a futuristic prediction based on historic data. The interval yield is the actual historic data. We'll have help bubbles and everything to break all this down. But okay. So, for example, if you bought time at the beginning, if you bought time 90 days ago, just based on your dividends, not price at all, you would have earned 2.3% yield in the last 90 days. If you would have bought today, you would have earned 5.6% yield over the last 90 days. It's based on the price. Okay. So let's say in total. So this is an actual number here. So based on the initial price of time, let's say that you held time since the very, very, very beginning. Okay. You would have earned 36% yield just on dividends, not including the price of time, which is up. We can check that chart here in a minute, but it is definitely up since the beginning. And it doesn't include if you didn't sell your dividends, right? Because you earn dividends, but then those also have price appreciation potential. So you have actually three sources of income from this one asset. You have the price appreciation of the asset, time. You have the physical dividends you are actually earning from holding the time. And then you have the potential price appreciation of the dividend you earned, which is PLS, ETH, BNB, whatever chain you're on. All right. Makes sense. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Now, let's jump into the exciting part. This is the part I'm so excited about, and I hope that the Pulse chain or the crypto community in general can really rally behind this particular stat and use it for more than just looking at internet money data and make actual market trends based on it, because it does represent market trends. So you have three categories here: by token, by address, by DEX. We'll break these down. You also have this toggle here. You can view it when you're looking at the token. You can view it in terms of bought and sold. You can filter by any point of data you see in this table. This filter can search it. You can select by network. You can select one network, multiple networks, and the data will sort in real time. And then you also have your time intervals as well. Okay. So now let's look at an example of some actual real data for each one. So let's say I want to just look at pulse chain for the purposes of the video we're on today. And let's look at total bought. Okay. So now this is if people have swapped within the Internet Money Wallet on Android, iOS, and Chrome, and they've used our smart contracts to do that, which if you swap within the wallet, you use our smart contracts. You don't have to think about it. It's just happening. This data is derived from the chain. So everything I just showed you is on-chain information. We don't collect any data as a wallet from our users. So this is all derived on-chain. Now, the number one asset that has been bought on Pulse Chain is PLS. Okay. The number one sold asset on Pulse Chain is also PLS, which means that people are trading PLS more than anything else. So sold means if I swap from PLS from PLS into something else. Bought would mean if I swapped from something into PLS. All right. That's how bought and sold work. So now let's take a look in the last 7 days. Again, PLS is check this out. PLS is the number one sold asset, but DAI is the number one bought asset. So now you can click on the address. Let's see if this is real DAI or if this is PDAI. Interesting here. This is what I'm saying. We can get interesting market trends from this. So this is PDAI. All right. So in the last 7 days on Pulse Chain, the number one bought asset through the Internet Money Wallet is PDAI. And that happened for a total of $240,000 over 782 swaps. Okay. On the left side here, let's go ahead and actually break down some of what we're looking at here as well. I'll go back to total. So on the left side, you have rank, which is, the rank of the thing you're looking at. You have the asset name. You have the amount of volume, whether it's bought or sold. You select that toggle here. You have how many swaps it was. You have the network it was on, which makes more sense if you have multiple networks selected, right? And then you have the contract address for that asset. Okay. So let's check last hour. The number one asset bought in the last hour is PLSX for $938. One person swapped into that. Sold PLS. Let's check the 4 hour. The number one sold asset is PLSX. The number one bought asset is So we went from number one being sold is Pulse. Number one bought is PDAI for the 7 day, but last 4 hour, number one sold is PulseX. The number one bought is Hex. Very interesting market information here. All right. Now for you out there. Oh, let me say one more thing here. So something you're going to see coming out from Internet Money as well is we're going to start to share this information in the form of marketing posts and stuff, shouting out communities who are the number one swapper on the hour, or maybe are the number one swapper on the number one community to swap on the 30 day. We're going to start doing some marketing posts to shout out those communities who are bringing their volume into the Internet Money Wallet. So if you want to get shout outs from the Internet Money team and community, go bring your swapping in app. Okay. Let's switch over to by address. Again, same thing, rank. Now you also can see the addresses that are doing the volume, right? Because one thing that's important about this is, hey, look, is this one address just swapping back and forth? Is this 100 million people? How many people are actually making up these numbers? So if you're somebody who likes that vanity metric and you want to be the number one swapper, well, come in here and do some volume. So the number one address in the internet money ecosystem is this address here. And it's done a total of $1.7 million in swap volume for a total of 34 swaps on Pulse Chain. Well, let's actually do this. Let's select all the network. Oh yeah, it is all the networks. Okay, perfect. So this has all the networks included right now. And this address has done the most simply on Pulse Chain through the wallet. So if you are address 0x57E2, we appreciate you. Thank you for all your swapping. Now we can go again 30-day. You can see that in the last 30 days, address 0x81D5. Thank you. We appreciate your swapping and your $243,000 in volume last week. Look at that. It changes so much. The last week, the top swapper, 0xB76. Thank you. 70,000 in swap volume, 24-hour 0x36F5. Thank you for your swap volume. All right. Pretty self-explanatory. Now by DEX. One really innovative thing about the Internet Money Wallet when you swap in-app is we have a DEX aggregator. And this DEX aggregator aggregates multiple liquidity sources. Depending on the chain, Alsamac, you're welcome, KG. Hey, man, shout out to you. Appreciate you. Depending on the chain, we have different amounts of liquidity sources, but since we're talking about Pulse Chain, we actually aggregate to 15 different liquidity sources. Now, what that means for the newer people, that sounds like mumbo jumbo. Basically, let's say you wanted to go buy bread at the store. Rather than saying, hey, you just go to Walmart or your one local grocery store, you would go to this website to say, hey, here's the price of bread at 15 different stores right now. And then you as the shopper can say, I'm going to go to that store to buy my bread because I'm getting the best deal. That's what you get when you swap in the Internet Money Wallet. We search all the DEXs or the stores for you, present you all the quotes at the exact same time, and then you can make sure that you're getting the highest yielding trade possible. Now, people will say, well, there's a fee associated with it. There is. Two things to note. 100% of that fee is distributed to time holders. Thing number two is many times, very often, the fee pays for itself, because if you just went to your one local grocery store, you actually would have missed the deal at the other grocery store you might not have gone to. And so you would have paid more for the bread. Same thing here. You go to your favorite DEX, you go to your favorite place to swap. You think you get the best deal, but how do you know? Because you're not searching everywhere. So we search everywhere for you, present you the best deal. And because you paid that small fee, you got to see all the deals and ensured you got the best deal. And many times I see this so very often as well. And if you swap within the Internet Money Wallet, you've probably experienced this, where let's say someone's swapping $100. I've seen people get $110. So not only did they pay a fee, they came out more profitable. Because one thing you have to understand about DEXs and liquidity is these are moving markets. They never stop. And the price can be up on a thing over here, but down over here. And so because we search all that at the same time, you can either buy lower or sell higher depending on whatever's beneficial to you. So I call this human arbitrage for my crypto nerds out there. I'd love to deep dive on that sometime. So if you're watching, you want to dive deeper into human arbitrage, I can make a video there, have me on your stream. Let's break it down. So yeah, so let's check out some stats. So you can see that the number one place to swap within the Internet Money Wallet is Payout. Number 2 is PulseX V2, PulseX V1. Oh, let me just select by pulse chain right now, so we only get one set. And 9mm V3 is number 4. So you can see all the different sources. All right. And now we can look at, let's say, the last 24 hours. Still Payout in that number 1 spot. Last hour, still Payout. A shout out to Payout, PulseX, the 9mm team, 9-inch team, the Fux team, all the dexes and liquidity sources on Pulse Chain. Really awesome work you do, guys. So that is it on the stats. We can dive in deeper. And again, with the dexes and stuff, we're going to do those marketing posts. But I hope that everybody found that helpful. Oh, here we go. Let's see. A buddy of mine today swapped 15 Pulse for 1527 time. He was all fired up. All I said was, and you paid a swap fee. So thank you for sharing that story out, Smack. Here's a small example. So this user swapped $15, paid a fee out of that $15, and ended up with more than $15. Crypto's crazy, y'all. All right? There's a lot of mechanics at play, and you want to use the tools that are capitalizing on those mechanics in your favor. Okay? Big boy Garms. I Am Wallet. I've been telling folks since day one. Thank you, KG, creating the I Am Wallet and all the hard work you put in behind the scenes to support the Pulse Chain community. Your dedication doesn't go unnoticed. Truly, truly appreciate that. Thank you. So I'm going to keep this video short so it can be digestible. I answered all the questions that I saw come in. If you're somebody watching this, thank you for tuning in. Rewind it back to get all those descriptions on the stats. And as we continue to get your support, to every human being who supports the internet money ecosystem, thank you. To each and every one of our users, thank you. To everybody who spreads the word, onboards your friend and family, uses the internet money wallet for your swaps, to store your crypto assets, to those who have put their trust in us, thank you. To everybody on the fence, we ask for an opportunity. If you don't want to completely switch from the wallet you're using, that's fine. Give us the opportunity with a small amount of your funds. Check out our features. Don't put any money in there. Just click around. If you need help, if you need feedback, if you want to give us feedback, join us in our Telegram channel. The only official place to find that is internetmoney.io. Click Join Community. And as we continue to get everybody's support, as we continue to grow, we can continue to build, and we can continue to fulfill all the requests that our community gives to us. We are truly a wallet in an ecosystem by the people, for the people. That is not a meme. That is not a joke. We believe that. We build that way. We operate that way. And you will not see that ethos change from us. And to our dedicated community, thank you. My name is KG. I'm the founder of internetmoney.io. And until next time, peace.
Got my own keys and my own coin. Gotta protect this money. Took too long for me to get it. Can't let them take this from me.